Almost. Welcome.
All right, we are live. It is 8:01 p.m. Eastern time, depending on where you are at. We'll give it one more minute, let folks jump in Facebook or via Zoom as they join How to Self-Care During the Holidays. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Let folks hop in as they can. My name is Ambrean Ford. This is How to Self-Care During the Holidays, hosted by Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Gamma Alpha Zeta Zeta Chapter in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Shout out to all the gas gals out there. And a special thanks to all who are in attendance, whether this is your first or your third or 20th event with us. We really do appreciate you being here, and we hope to put on something great for you. Next, I'd like to introduce our presenters, so we can just go ahead and hop in it. First, I'd like to talk about Marylune I. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist in California, and she works with many clients with depression, anxiety, trauma, children in foster care, parent-child relationships, concerns, and eating disorders, populations, and relationship problems.
Hello.
Next, I'd like to introduce my soror, Mrs.Gee. She is also a member of Gamma Alpha Zeta Zeta Chapter. Very much appreciate her and love her. She is also a licensed professional clinical counselor, licensed in California and the state of Texas. She works in mental health since 2014 and currently is working in private practice, treating clients with depression, anxiety, behavioral issues, trauma, parenting, domestic violence, and relationship healthiness.
Hello, everyone. All right. Well, we're going to jump in. Thank you guys for joining. We are going to talk about how to self-care during the holidays. Some of the things that we're going to touch on in this next few minutes. We're going to talk about what self-care is, why self-care is important during the holidays, some tips to prevent stress and depression, why it's important to our mental health as well as our physical health. So we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to let Marylune start.
Nice. So what is self-care, right? What is self-care? So self-care can look different amongst many people, right? Depending on what they think of self-care. So self-care is a multi-dimensional way to constantly engage in activities that promote healthy functions. So it's about taking time away from your normal daily commitments and activities to take care of yourself. Even if you incorporated self-care into your daily routine, it's important to be mindful of when you're not feeling like yourself or feeling stressed so that you can add an extra dose of self-care.
Yeah. Most people think self-care, I'm just going to go to the mall or get my hair done. But self-care is really, it should be, we look at it as a luxury, and it's really a necessity.
Yes.
It's not just when we feel like it. It needs to be a part of your daily routine because it affects everything that we do. Self-care is completely important. And so the other part that I love when we talk about self-care with clients, when we talk about educating people on self-care is not about being selfish. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. And even if it is, it's not a bad thing.
Yes. And
It's
I
not
like
like a
that you
bad
put that, and I like that, but you have to be mindful, right? Being intentional, being mindful of like what you do to incorporate self-care in your day.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna go with some tips to prevent holiday stress and depression. You know, the holidays are fun. Like for me, holidays are fun, but the holidays are also very stressful. I am a working mother of 3, 4 to be on the way. And so it can get very overwhelming if we are not careful to really balance it all, to set boundaries and to watch how we're self-caring. Oftentimes we get so caught up in the routine of what we're doing that we haven't eaten. We wake up in the morning, we get the kids ready, we get ready, we go to work, and all of a sudden it's noon and it's like, wait, we haven't even had breakfast. We had coffee, but we haven't had breakfast. Then we get home at 6 p.m. and we're wondering why we have a headache, why we're sluggish, why we're fatigued, why we're hangry, why we're snapping at people, because we haven't eaten. We haven't taken 5 minutes to just take a deep breath and really process the day. And so during the holidays, it gets even more busy, right? We get more busier. You know what I mean? I didn't go to school for English, but you know what I mean? We get busy. So it's about like really taking those moments to think about, okay, I have all these things going on. How can I take care of myself? Because it's not selfish to take care of myself during the holidays as well.
For
So we'll
sure.
start
And
with-
I also think it's so important to really understand that the holidays, it is a stressful time, and also to take into consideration, some people don't have their families, right? Around the holidays during this time, or if you're dealing with grief and loss, that can definitely impact a lot of different emotions. So really acknowledging your feelings during this time of the holidays is key.
Yeah.
So acknowledging your feelings, recognize how you feel, right? How do you know, right, what you're going through when you're stressed out, right? Like sometimes our body tells us, and you got to find out what that looks like for you, right? Everybody's different. So everybody's stress level tolerance is different. So really just recognizing your feelings, exploring your triggers around this time.
Absolutely. Some ways to know how you're feeling, we call that emotional identification, being able to identify what that emotion is. Not just mad, sad, angry, but looking at the whole emotional wheel list. Maybe I am annoyed. Maybe I am irritable. There's so many emotions that play a part in how we feel. Maybe I'm feeling a little resentful. Maybe I'm a little lonely. You know, I live in a different state than my family. Sometimes I have to realize that I'm missing my family. And it's like, why am I lashing out? Why am I so, I need to call home. Let me get something close to home that makes me feel good, right? Recognizing how you feel.
And having a good cry. If you have to cry it out to release some of the suppressed emotions that our body holds in, right? So release those emotions. And also, like during the holidays, don't force yourself to be happy. If you don't want to be happy, it's okay. You know, if you're not happy around the holiday times, but just recognize it.
I'm a big, I talk a lot about that toxic positivity. Like, no, if you feel, just you be positive, everything will be positive. Well, sometimes you have to just acknowledge that I'm not doing well. I'm not okay right now. And it's okay to say I'm not doing well. Now we work on, well, what can I do to help me because I'm not feeling well? I'm not doing well. But if you don't recognize it, if you're not acknowledging it, then it's easy to get caught up in, it's okay, everything's okay, I'm all right, everything's all right. And it's not. So, don't force yourself to be happy. Acknowledge how you're feeling so that we can now deal with it, so we can manage it.
Reaching out to others, right? Finding a support group, calling or texting a friend, leaning on your support system. And if you don't have support systems, create new ones.
Healthy ones. It's knowing that not everybody is a healthy support, right? I don't want to feel, if I'm feeling down and I'm feeling blue and I'm feeling just like, I can't call somebody that's going to make me feel even worse.
Yes.
It's going to drain me even more. When we talk to people, it is about having a healthy support system. and knowing who's healthy and who's unhealthy, because there's a difference between healthy and unhealthy support.
For sure.
You don't wanna
Attending
feel-
like, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was gonna say also attending like community free events, right? There's so many workshops like this, right? Like that you can lean on to reach out, network with other people, connect with. There's so many in the community.
Absolutely. And if you don't know, a good resource would be, I know we're all in different areas. I sometimes go, well, I use Facebook sometimes. I look at the events in the area, go to the event page, and I'll look at, oh, what's happening in my area, and then take my kids to the farmer's market. Or sometimes they have a play going on or whatever, especially around the holidays. Those are some good things, looking at your community events. A book. I like a good book.
Yeah, participate in a book club, create one, right? Get some
Right.
friends or people that, you know, can invite others to book clubs and just have a discussion. That book club can lead to friendships, right?
Absolutely.
Down the line, and lean on your spirituality.
Absolutely. You talked about the book club creating more support. That goes back to that healthy support. You have now opened the door for other supportive people in your life. This is your expertise right here.
So sticking to a budget, right? During the holidays, it can really be stressful, right? If you don't stick to a budget. There's so many people that kind of go into debt during this time, putting things on credit cards, and it doesn't have to be, right? I always say save money in advance. Like, you know, if you work, put money on the side, right? So you don't see it, out of sight, out of mind. Put $100, that $100 in 6 months, that's $600, right? $50, that's $300. So it's like, you don't have to go broke during the holidays, right? Shop sales or deals. Every holiday season, Target has 60% off, 90% off, right? On after sales. Shop those things. Think that maybe throughout the year where you can put things in the closet, gifts, be realistic, right? Set your budget and see what you can do, right? You don't have to like buy expensive things, or, you know, it's really just sticking to your budget and making sure that you're not stressed out during this time, because it does cause a lot of stress for a lot of families, right? Because of unexpected money, or, you know what I mean? Like managing, or even for food, right? Like preparing things are going all out, and it doesn't have to be.
Absolutely. I always think about why you're doing it, right? Am I doing it because it's a holiday and this is what I'm told to do, buy a bunch of gifts? Or think about maybe your family traditions, or create your own traditions. I know in my family, I tell my kids, what are 3 things that you need? 3, they get 3. Now I probably get them some other things as well, but I want them to understand that this isn't about, you know, some once a year big shopping spree. I want them to understand the meaning. And so just like we talked about in the last slide about that support group or leaning on your spirituality, what does the holidays mean to you? Are we shopping because the stores are filled with a bunch of eye-catching things and they're like, it's on sale, it's on sale? Or does the holiday have a spiritual meaning to you? Does it have some type of family meaning or tradition? What does it mean? And so I think that helps you to stick to a budget too, instead of just spending money however you want. I tried it this year. I put my little envelope to the side, put some money in it. I was very surprised by October. I was like, I'm not spending all this money on Christmas.
But see, the key is that you did it though, right? Like you had that money put aside if you wanted to, right? And that's the thing about creating a budget, is that you can decide on what you want to spend on, right? When you put money aside, when you save, you know, you shouldn't really go into debt with it, right? During this time. So that can cause more stress if you go into debt using credit cards, being behind on bills. So you definitely, there's some ways to kind of do, right? You can follow people online to learn about budgeting if you have to. So
absolutely. Then you go into the new year broke, stressed out even more.
Yes.
Here's my favorite. Take a break. We just talked about taking time for yourself, taking a break. I know being in the field that we're in, sometimes we're working back to back to back to back to back. And the whole day has ended and we're like, oh, I haven't taken a break. Taking a break, not just in your day, your daily day, your day to day, like your lunch break and your 15-minute breaks, taking a walk around, but using your vacation and sick time. We're saving, like it's gonna give us something wonderful at the end. Like somebody gonna throw a party that we have all these hours left. Take a sick day or take your vacation day. Use it as a mental health day. You know, I'm just using it because I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired. I don't have a cold or the flu yet. I'm taking a mental health day so I don't get the cold and the flu because my body is completely worn out, or I don't get sick. And then find an activity you enjoy. Spend less time on your electronics. Oh Lord, that's the big one.
Yeah,
Stop
for sure.
scrolling.
Which is hard, right? Because nowadays, modern technology, everything's technology nowadays, but really it's like taking a break is so key to your self-care, to your mental health, physical health, everything. And I'm a workaholic, but my thing is that I balance my self-care. I make sure I'm intentional. You have to, just because if not, you can't continue to help people. I'm a therapist, but like hearing all these stories like can be overwhelming on my body if I don't take care of myself. So I tend to take breaks, or I go out on the weekends or do things every day, like to kind of keep myself going.
Yeah, absolutely. I take naps.
Nice.
I like a good noon nap. Be realistic.
So the holidays do not have to be perfect, right? You can change your traditions depending on how things were, right? As a child, how you implement it now as adults, right? It can change over time. And then also find new ways to celebrate with loved ones. It doesn't have to be same old traditions. It can change. And also with the pandemic, like things have even really changed, right? With how families and friends celebrate.
Absolutely. I know for our family, like I said, we don't live in the same state as our family anymore. So last Thanksgiving, we did something different. We went to a water park. We spent 3 days at the water park as an indoor water park. And we had burgers and fries on Thanksgiving, lots of ice cream, and it was so much fun. And it was like, oh, this is good. It doesn't have to be me standing in the kitchen cooking for hours at a time. Even though I love to do those things with my family, there are some moments where you're like, you know what? It's been a long year. I just want to take some time to relax. So let's go relax. And we talk about, again, what that means to you. Well, the holidays for me mean spending time with my family. We're busy all year long. So I want to take some time to actually enjoy them, catch up with what they're doing and not have somewhere to go or something to do. So it's like, you know what, let's go and let's let somebody else cook for us this year. It was great.
And it's okay, right? Nothing happened, right? With you changing your traditions or, holiday rituals, right?
Right. Nothing. Protect your peace.
Yes, I like this quote. I found it, I think, on Pinterest. So protecting your peace, right? It's okay to cancel commitments. It's okay to not answer that call. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay if you want to be alone. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to do nothing. It's okay to speak up, and it's okay to let go. What do you think comes to mind, Crystal, when you hear that?
That I have a choice. That I don't have to do it because I'm told to or because someone wants me to, but I can make the change. I say all the time on my podcast, you have the power to create change. And if I don't want to do it, I need to check in with myself. We just talked about listening to your body, your needs, emotional identification. How am I feeling? Well, if I'm not feeling too well, staying with a commitment that is important could really change that. Now I'm coming in there with a bad attitude. I'm coming in there stressed out. And that's not helping anybody, especially me. but it's also putting a damper on whatever it is that you made a commitment to.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that time to say, you know what, I'm not doing so well right now. I'm going to have to cancel. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been seeing a lot of that social media wise, as far as like entertainers or celebrities canceling events, saying, you know what, my mental health isn't, I need to protect my mental health right now. And I know I listen to the Breakfast Club a lot. So some people will be like, that's so rude. Like people were counting on them. But at the end of the day, if they're not in the right space, in the head space, they're doing what's best for them at that moment. And we have to be okay with it, because we can't tell them what's going on in their life. Nobody can tell you.
People are going to be mad. People are going to be mad.
They'll be mad. So what? It's okay. It'll be all right.
But it's about protecting peace and the boundaries. You got to set boundaries.
Absolutely. Setting boundaries. I'm not comfortable with this. No, thank you. No is a full sentence. You can put a period at the end of it. No. And you don't have to be like, no. You can say, no. No, thank you. No, that doesn't work for me. No. I tell people all the time, go in the mirror and practice. No. Say it with a smile. No. And just, be okay with saying no. Not no, but no. The other thing that goes with self-care is maintaining good mental health. We're here as mental health professionals, self-care. So the National Alliance of Mental Health, 2022, they talked about how 64% of people with mental illness report holidays make their conditions worse. Holidays can become lonely and stressful and increases anxiety and depression. If you're living with a mental condition, stress can contribute to worsening symptoms. So an example could be schizophrenia. It encourages hallucinations and delusions. And bipolar, it can trigger episodes of mania and depression. And so we have to be very aware of how we're feeling. If you are struggling with a mental illness, a mental disorder, your mental health is important. And you have to know how this stress affects it. And so accepting your needs, being kind to yourself. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You have to take care of you for you. Setting boundaries. Family dynamics can be complex. We all don't come from the TV made families that we saw. Can't say see, saw. And so we have to be very realistic that I can't come right now. This isn't okay for me. And so the one thing that we encourage is to make sure you're still keeping up with your therapy appointments. Find a therapist. Don't just let it sit to the side, or again, go with the, I'm okay, I'm all right. Know your body, know what you need, and accept your needs.
I also want to add that your friends are not your therapists.
No.
On it.
No.
Because we hear that all the time, so I just wanted to put that out there too. Get professional therapy if you need it.
Professional therapy. Even your therapist friends, they are not your therapists. You have to seek your own therapist, right? Someone that you can confide in with no judgment. No, they don't know you. They're getting to know you, and you can be open and honest with them. It's about creating a safe place, a safe space, and really getting down to the root of what it is that is going on so that they can help you. So talking about mental health, it's not just our mental health, but it's also our physical health, our overall health and well-being. That's important when it comes to the holidays and stress. At everyday health, self-care is taking steps to tend to your physical and emotional needs to the best of your ability. The World Health Organization defines self-care as the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent diseases, maintain health, and to cope with illnesses and disabilities with or without the support of a healthcare provider. Physical health problems significantly increase the risk of poor mental health, and vice versa. People with long-term physical health conditions also have mental health problems, most commonly depression and anxiety. So the connection between our physical and our mental is so important. That is a part of self-care. Like I said, it's not just about getting our hair and our nails done or shopping or taking a bath, but knowing how your physical health is also impacting your mental health.
And to add to that, it's like even trauma, right? How trauma is stored in our bodies and our minds if we don't release it. And that
Right.
kind of contributes to the physical health, right? And mental health. So trauma plays a big part in, your overall health too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. We partner with organizations like Good Health Wins.
Mhm.
And we talk about, so they have the mission statement. They have their mission statement on their site, but they also have the pledge. I pledge to make good health a priority in my life and in my community. Healthcare is a fundamental right shared by all. When we talk about physical health, we're talking about making sure that you're seeing your doctor regularly, not just
Mhm.
when you're feeling sick. Making sure that you have regular appointments, making sure that you're talking to your doctor and being educated on your vaccines, your immunizations, your overall care to your body and what you need. That's important. Right now, we have an increase in flu, cold, RSV, measles. Those things are important to not just know, but educate yourself on and talk to your doctor about what's the best way for you to treat and prevent what's going on. And so at Good Health Wins, I don't know if we could put it in the chat, www.goodhealthwins. It's a great program that talks about your health, your physical health, and how it matters to not just your physical, but your mental health. And they have information about the COVID-19 vaccines, as well as other ways to prevent and to help your physical health.
And also the booster shots, right? Making sure you get the up-to-date booster shots. And also it has good tips on practicing physical distancing, washing hands, hygiene, all the stuff to prevent some of the health issues that can come with it.
I am still virtual, okay? I don't know if it's because I'm comfortable or because I am trying my best to stay physically, to not be sick.
Yes.
I do have underlying conditions, or however you call them. I have an autoimmune disease. I have asthma. I'm pregnant. These are things that are important. I can't take and do everything because of being pregnant, because of having rheumatoid arthritis. And so I'm okay with meeting people virtually. And that's part of my boundary. If I go to an event and there's too many people, I have to leave. And again, we get back to that. It's okay to say no. Limit house guests. You don't have to have everybody name home at your house.
Yep.
You don't have to attend every gathering that you're invited to. And most importantly, if you don't feel well, don't go.
That's number one. Right?
For me and you, don't go.
Yes.
I know we have this whole FOMO, that make me sound like I was younger, the fear of missing out. I learned that. But if you are sick, you could be making someone else sick and you don't know what conditions they have.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've put them in a compromised situation and you may just have a cold and now you've spread those germs and this other person may not be able to handle it the same way your body handled it. So it's really important to think about like, okay, I don't feel good. I can't go and, cause somebody else to get sick too. But thinking about yourself as well. It's important for you to take care of yourself. That's part of self-care. Maybe your body is telling you you need to lay in the bed. You need to drink some water, have some hot tea, do whatever it is you need to do to get yourself better.
I don't know about, but I'm still washing my hands all the time.
I got hand sanitizer everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere you look, it's like, oh, hand sanitizer, hand sanitizer. We get in the car, hand sanitizer. I'm hand sanitizing the steering wheel when I get in. I've never done these things before, but it's just like a habit now.
Yes.
Wiping everything down. Physical, or practicing physical distance, keeping your mask on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people have their mask on still, and that's okay. Do what works for you.
So some coping strategies, ideas. I know there's so many out there, right? But definitely we wanted to at least put on a slide on different ones. Practicing gratitude, yoga, singing and dancing. Focus on your breathing, right? Sometimes we never really just focus on our breathing to like actually really breathe slowly or deep, and under recognizing when we're like our breath it's too fast, right? Or it's like our anxiety is even like getting in the way of our heart beating. So definitely focusing on your breathing is key. Laughing is definitely an instant mood booster. Doing some arts and crafts, making sure your environment's clean is also key.
Yes. Taking a walk. That's my favorite. I love taking a walk. Now, granted, the weather has been a little icky lately, so it's raining or, it's the winter time. So maybe taking a walk isn't what you can do for that day, right? So doing something in the house. I like to do like little dance videos on YouTube, finding something to dance along to. Like I told you, my favorite is taking a nap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a nap. It's a great coping strategy for me, but doing what works for you. And so here are just a few coping strategies that we have for you. All right. So Marylune,
Here's some community
California.
resources. Yes. In Lancaster, California, these are some different resources. ABPH, that's in Lancaster. Department of Mental Health is all over the place. Ohana Center definitely has different workshops that they have online, so you can really join anywhere. It's not just for California, but definitely they're located in California, but they have different like workshops. Penny Lane Centers, Alba Wellness Group. 988 is definitely a new concept. It's kind of like 911, but for if you're having a psychiatric emergency. The National Suicide Hotline, that's what you can give to have people call. It works all over since it's national hotline. Project Joy is also another good resource. The Children's Center of the Antelope Valley, the Stable Mind, and Healing Hearts Mental Health Services. It's my private practice.
Yes. You can also, let's say, after hearing how to self-care, you realize I'm not really doing that well at taking care of myself. I need to get a little bit more information. Maybe I need to reach out to a therapist. You can go to Psychology Today. You can put in your location, your zip code, your state, and you can find a therapist in your area, whether that be telehealth or in person. So I know we're all from different states. Psychology Today is a great one to find a verified licensed therapist. And so that for us was some ways to kind of self-care during the holidays.
Well, thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. And I mean, all of us do. And you touched on a lot of real points. I definitely feel like for myself, I need to be very intentional about like giving myself that winter break this holiday season. I'm not in school anymore, so it's not going to just come up naturally. So like that was great. And we'd just like to switch gears for a little bit and just ask you a few questions. But before we hop into my questions, I don't want to lose a question that came up in the Zoom chat while you all were talking. And somebody just would like to know if you could share, maybe both or whoever feels comfortable. What are some ways that you find support yourself?
You want to go first, Crystal?
Ways that I find support. My friends are my therapist. No, I'm just kidding. I find support, well, as therapists, we promote having a therapist. And so many of us have our own therapists. We talk, we find support groups. I'm a part of a support group that I truly enjoy. It's once a month. It's actually held by Dr. Crystal Handy, who is on this Zoom today. I love it because it gives me a chance to be open to talk about what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through. And so those are some ways that I support myself.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Just what are some ways that you find support?
Some ways that I find support is leaning on family, friends. not as my therapist, but definitely kind of I like to connect, right? I network, I flourish off of like socialization from people. So that's just for me. So really it's I like connection and I like building connection and I like staying connected. So it's like I've stayed connected with a lot of like old coworkers at other places, even if I'm no longer there no more, throughout my whole mental health like field practice. So I've been able to connect with almost people that I want to click with, right, at my organization. So that's how I kind of stay connected to people.
Yeah, same. I would definitely agree. I find a lot of support in other folks. That's why I find it funny, like when I'm in like a bad day, I don't want to talk to people, but that's literally what I need to feel better. We are weird as human beings, but yes, definitely lots of support in other people. And the next question would just be, what would you both name as one of your personal go-to healthy ways to relax when you're alone? So you had named like some options in the presentation, but what would you say is like, if you had to do it right now, how would you be relaxing?
For me, every day I have to, even if I'm working from home, which that's what I'm doing right now with telehealth, I have to shower. I have to take 2 showers and that I use that as a transition. So from work, going into work in the morning, like taking a shower, and then after when I'm done with my day. So transitional showers are key in kind of relaxing, healthy ways for me to cope really even and be intentional for my day. So, I mean, it's a lot of laundry, but it helps me. So
That's a good idea.
Right now in my life, napping. I need a nap, but I cannot always nap. And some days I miss a nap. So resting, I'll sit back and rest my eyes for 5-10 minutes at a time. I will take a break in between clients. I'll go pick up my daughter early from school because, you know, if you're familiar with picking kids up from school and sitting in a line, you're there for a long time. So I will go a little earlier just so I can sit, turn on a podcast and just listen, you know. So I have some favorite podcasts that I go to so I can laugh. And that usually just gets me going.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good in replacement of a nap. I like it. What would you give people as suggestions for self-care for anybody who feels like their schedule is just too full and they really can't find any time?
Oh,
you want to go first, me?
no, you go
say,
first.
Okay, I say I'm busy. I have a full schedule. Like, cut the excuses, right? And prioritize your self-care. And so really just straight to the point, you got to make time because your life matters. You got to value your life and what you care and like kind of implementing it. And it doesn't matter how busy it is. Like I always tell people, even if you're working, take a walk, take your breaks, being intentional, take a nap, put your phone away. Like I highlight that on my Instagram all the time, right? About like just being able to take that break, rest, do what you need, even in a full busy day and schedule.
Okay.
Yep. See, I gave her a thumbs up because I feel the same way. I feel like it's an excuse. It's an excuse when we say we're too busy to self-care. Like I said before, we treat self-care like it's a luxury instead of a necessity. Not taking care of your mental health, not taking care of your physical health, there's an excuse. And so I would advocate that you go and seek professional, a therapist, or go see your doctor because maybe there's some things that you're avoiding.
Yeah.
There are some things that you're not really identifying with, or you're trying to sweep under the rug. Why don't you want to take care of yourself? You don't feel that you're important enough to take care of yourself? And those are some kind of those are questions that I do ask. Do you feel that you're important? Because I feel like I'm important. And so because I'm important, I know that I have to take care of myself. And so we have to tap into why. Yes, we have busy lives. Yes, there's a lot going on. But if you're making time to do anything, your self-care and take your priority of taking care of yourself should fit in that. Put yourself on the schedule. That's actually part of like cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Putting yourself on the schedule. I'm taking a break. because I'm important.
Blocking that time, blocking that
Blocking
time.
that time. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at your schedule and 11 o'clock comes up and it says me time, take me time.
Mhm.
Put yourself on schedule. I want to make sure I don't miss Dr. Crystal Handy. Did you have your hand up?
I did. I wanted to piggyback off of these ladies. Y'all did a fantastic presentation, and I'm really passionate about this area of making sure that, you know, for us as women, and for us as women of color in particular, self-care, you can't afford not to have that margin for yourself. We're more prone to physiological symptoms. It's like a kind of a frog in boiling water, and you don't know you're cooked until you're dead. So ultimately, you want to make sure that you're not stroking out or not having high blood pressure or diabetes or, you know, something crazy, Bell's palsy, those kinds of things too. You know, so you can't afford not to have self-care. And so I love the title or the theme. Self-care is not selfish. It is essential. It is necessary. And ultimately, it should be the first thing as opposed to the last. Like, do I have room? Yes, you're supposed to have room. So ultimately, making sure it's the first thing as opposed to the last thing on your list. You ladies touched on a lot of fantastic things, but another thing that stood out to me was, let's see, in terms of just being authentic during the holidays, you know, not doing well and not pretending that you are, or toxic positivity. I think that is extremely important. Acknowledging these things early on before the holidays could probably circumvent the breakdown during the holidays when you have time to think and rest. So, you know, being able to, you know, and that just goes back to self-care. You have to prioritize it. It is a necessity. It's not something you can afford to not go without. So.
Absolutely. And I know I shouted Dr. Crystal Handy out when we were talking. This is another colleague of ours. All of us have been in the field for a while, and we all met 7, 8 years ago. Is that a long time? No, 5 years ago, something like that. We all met, and we all stay very connected to one another and support each other in our groups, in our private practices. And so, yeah, I know at the end, I will also put out that link to Dr. Crystal Handy as well. It's another therapist in California.
Yeah, the more resources, the better. Like, honestly, like, we just all need to be able to have access to therapy. Like, we all need it, whether you feel like you have went through something super traumatic or not. Like, it's just something for our everyday lives. So and thank you, Dr. Crystal Handy, for commenting it. And that was some very much helpful like advice that you were given. And then I got a chat that a question had came in from the Facebook Live. So I'm going to read it as it was presented for you all. So somebody's saying, I'll admit it, I strongly dislike the holidays. I feel like I'm always alone around this time and honestly feel like I'm imposing on my friends when they find out I'm flying solo. Understanding self-care and stressors is one thing, but being motivated to follow through is another. Any ways to push through?
Take those solo trips, enjoy it. You get me? Like, you learn so much about yourself when you do those solo trips or when you eat by yourself. It's okay to be alone. You know, it's okay if you don't want to do things with people, you know what I mean? Or you don't have people to celebrate with or connect with. Take those time for yourself. It's okay.
You know, another thing you talked about, Marylune, was connection, right? I'm going, well, what kind of friends are these? Are you really building those connections with people, being able to reach out to them? You know, when we're connected to people and we have friends, it's okay to lean on that healthy support. Are they a healthy support? And knowing the difference between whether they're healthy support or unhealthy support. But yes, I agree with you. It's okay to take your solo trips, but it's also okay to lean on your friends and know that your friends are there for you if they're your friends. And if that's not the case, then maybe we need to reevaluate your friendships and your connections, because your real friends are going to hold you up. during that time and be there for you.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I feel like that's so real. Like, we always talk about the holidays being a time where we're with our family and friends and everybody's coming together. And we don't talk about that. That's not the reality for everybody. And so, like, it's good to just have like it's okay to be by yourself at this time. And then somebody put in the chat, which I feel like is so real, but I don't know if we always think about it. It's like, just because you're alone, it doesn't mean that you have to be lonely or that you are lonely.
Right.
Embrace that. So I feel like there's like some strength in being able to say, like, I know who I want to be around, and if it's just me right now, that's okay, and you can enjoy yourself.
Yep.
And I
That goes
like
back
that
to
statement.
knowing your needs.
Yeah, it's like, and I like that statement because just because people got family don't mean that they
Mhm.
don't feel lonely even or alone. You know what I mean? And so it's really kind of knowing who you have around, right? Your support, how much do they drain your energy, right? If they drain your energy,
Absolutely.
reevaluate, right? Like, people should not be draining, you know?
Right.
Yes, this is very true. So our next question, what advice would you give someone who feels like they are ready to set boundaries for the first time this holiday? So kind of off of, like, if they are feeling like people are draining, but they're not really ready to just be like, let's cut off the family and friends and not be together, kind of how can they set those boundaries up for the first time coming into the holidays?
Just do it. Right. And I feel like, just like how Nike says, just do it. It's like,
Just do it.
some may not like it, but it's like, oh, well, you got to do what's best for you. And I know we say that often, you got to do what's best for you. And you really do. And that comes with setting boundaries, whether it's your family, your friends, and people. Like, it's okay to say, I don't want to do something, or I don't want to go out, or I don't want to be around at this time.
Right. I think another part of that is knowing your boundaries. So in order to know your boundaries, you have to know your limits. What are your limits? If I'm okay with going to hang out with family and friends, maybe I'm okay with being there for an hour, 2 hours. What are my limits? I don't have to be here all day. Set a plan. But again, it goes to knowing your limits, knowing what is doable for you, what is acceptable for you, what you can control, what you can't control, and being okay with saying, that doesn't work for me. We work, therapistaid.com has some great boundary one-liners. And we talk about things like, I'm not comfortable with that. No, thank you. This doesn't work for me. Not at this time. Those are some things that you can say, and it's okay to say them. And you don't have to make an excuse. You don't have to give an explanation. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me right now. Maybe next time. Those are some boundary setting statements.
Yeah, those are good and really tangible, like things that you can say in the moment, and kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. Is like, no is a full sentence. Like, it's okay to just say no. It's not easy. I feel like I always find myself having to say like something else after it.
Right.
I want to practice that myself. Is like, this is what I mean. Like, I don't need to explain these a million reasons why it's okay for me to say this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dr. Crystal, did you want to say something?
I did. So this is very remnant of the intervention I use in terms of talking about healthy boundaries. And I use a lot of metaphors and just visual depictions. And so when I think of boundaries, I think of kind of electric fences. And most of my clients know that, people will get shocked because you are reinforcing those boundaries. And so it is, all the more reason to reinforce so that you can be comfortable in your own space and not have anybody be intrusive to your mental health.
Yeah, that's so true. People definitely do not like boundaries if they are not used to you having them. Not easy to digest. And for our next one, what are some ways that you heard of people spending their holidays when they choose not to be around their family and friends? So kind of like when you were talking about earlier, Crystal, of like what you did for Thanksgiving. What are some like things that people could do if they did want to be alone?
Spa day, taking that solo trip, day trip, even eating alone, resting, sleeping, shopping.
Volunteering.
Yes, that too.
Volunteering. I volunteered for the Salvation Army for many years. And depending on your area and what that looks like in your city or state, finding if they have things during the holidays for you to volunteer and do. Now, maybe on the day of the holiday, maybe there's not a lot of things to do that day. There are places that are open. I used to work for an amusement park, and Knoxbury Farm is open, I think.
Oh, I didn't know.
We work during the holiday. Go and see something. Go take your kids to the zoo or whatever that looks like. There are a lot of things in the city that goes back to your community resources, and look to see what's available, because the reality is not everybody celebrates the holiday the same way. Not everybody celebrates Christmas. Not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving. So there are things in the community for you to do outside of those major holidays. So, looking into, well, what works for me? Maybe I want to go hiking. I have friends that hike. I don't hike, but they hike. And that might be a great thing to do. Go hike, go take a picnic. Make some sandwiches or I'm gonna say this wrong. I think it's a charcuterie board. Did I say it right?
That's what I say it. If that is wrong, I am saying it wrong all the time.
But
You said it right. You said it right.
I think it's so much fun to put one together, right? I'm not trying to post it on social media or anything, but putting my own together and then sitting down and finding a movie and eating my cheese and crackers.
Still a little something fancy for the holiday.
Right.
Okay. And so for folks who are on this call, before we get off, folks who are on this call, what are some signs that they can take to be like, all right, my body needs rest, or maybe I'm seeing this in maybe my family and friends, like they need some rest or some self-care, they need a break, definitely. What would you say are like maybe some physical, maybe some emotional signs where it's like, all right, someone needs some self-care?
You definitely feel it in your body, right? You feel it in your mind. You feel the tension. I mean, everyone feels it differently, right? So you really have to recognize, for one, yourself. For me, I get neck tensions, right? My shoulders hurt. Sometimes people get headaches, right? So that's even a sign, physical sign, to know when it's stressful, when it's, you need to take a break, when you need a rest, or sometimes you're just tired, right? You're fatigued. You can't concentrate even throughout your work, right? Even. So understanding those things will be key in like doing something for yourself. Like, I need to take a break. I need to stop. I need to not rush. I need to breathe even. So really understanding and recognizing your physical symptoms, tension, and doing something about it.
Yeah.
There are physical symptoms. There are also some emotional symptoms. When I'm looking at therapista.com, when we talk about recognizing stress in the body, that can look like irritability, lashing out, yelling, screaming, fatigue. Maybe you talked about stomach pains, digestive problems, nail biting. Those are some acute signs of stress. And so we have to be very aware of our bodies and if we're reacting to stress. And so knowing that is your stomach shouldn't hurt every day. We have normalized these things. You shouldn't have a headache every day. It's time to go see the doctor if you have a headache or migraine every day, if you're feeling sick every day. Those are some things that you want to look at and not just kind of pretend like they're not there or normalize it like it's normal. It's your body telling you something.
Yes, need to listen for sure. Well, I really appreciate you all for answering those questions and giving this amazing presentation. I definitely want to give you a few minutes if you want to shout out any of your own private practices. I'd encourage everyone to look in the chat because there's links in there that could really be like nice resources for yourself or some of your family and friends. Marylune or Crystal, any?
For sure.
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram at I Love Therapy 661. From there, you can look at my bio and then you can see my YouTube, my Yelp, my TikTok. I'm kind of all over the place on social media. So definitely, you can find me there, or even my email, reach me at Marylune_IM@iCloud.com. And that's my phone number too.
Yes, and I tried to bring it up. I let it go. I'll get back to it right now. That was Marylune's information.
Take a picture.
For myself, you can find me on Psychology Today. Right now, I am not accepting new clients. I did talk about being pregnant. I am going on maternity leave in a few weeks. And so I will be accepting new clients March 2023. And so during that time, you can find me either at mrsgeetalk.com or Psychology Today. Those are some ways. And then my phone number as well is there, 323-473-4030. So that's some ways that you can find me.
Yeah. And if you're looking for even more resources, you can check out the flyer for this event, and the QR code will take you to so many different resources. Some are targeted for certain communities and populations, depending on your identities. Others are general and would let you like see a bunch of different therapists. But really, we just want to provide different avenues because we know that not all folks have the same access to things or opportunities. So definitely, like, therapy is important. Dealing with your mental health is really important. And if you like this event and you're like, wow, this is fun, I like these people, Gas Gals got it going on, check us out on social media. We have more exciting events just like this planned for 2023, and we'd love to see you all there. And just, I'd like to take a moment to say thank you one more time to Crystal G and Marylune M. Like, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. You've shared so much knowledge with us as we go into these holiday seasons, but then also stuff that we can just take with us.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you all
having
for
us.
coming. We really appreciate everyone. Have a great Tuesday evening.
Thank you. Thank
You
you guys.
too. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.